Okay. Okay, so let me see. Is everything working? Testing, testing. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay. So guys, I do apologize for that. I am trying to do this on Podbean as well as live stream it to YouTube and Facebook Live as well. So, welcome to the show. My name is Brooke. I am the host of the Vintage Gardener podcast, and mostly the podcast is usually a selection of Q&A, not Q&A. It's more of a lecture series talking about all things gardening. So just tips and tricks for gardening, especially if you're like me and you live in southern New Jersey, which is zone 7A. I do on occasion do live podcast. Okay, you know what? Nobody's in here, so I'm just gonna take a minute here, grab my coffee. Hopefully a few more people will enter the show. Okay. Okay, so I think I see somebody on YouTube, I think. Um, hello to whoever is on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm looking at myself or I'm looking at another viewer. I'm just getting started. I'm waiting for more. Oh, actually, it went back to 0, so that person left. um, so this is not starting off too well. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to get started. And if I don't see anybody in another, like, I guess 10, 15 minutes, then I'll go ahead and sign off the live. So, my name is Brooke. This is the Vintage Gardener podcast, which is where I give tips and tricks on gardening, particularly if you are gardening in Zone 7A. Hi, Lorraine. How are you? And I usually do it in a pre-recorded session, but on occasion, I do live podcast so that other people can call in and answer. So for those of you who are listening on YouTube or even Facebook Live, you know what, I should probably put a link, but if you want to participate in the actual call in portion of the show, meaning that you call in and actually talk to me, you'll have to actually go to Podbean and join the show there. And I'm going to see if with Podbean I can actually get the link to show without messing myself up here. So aside from that, you'll have to just chat using Instagram or that sort of thing, which is fine. That's what you guys want to do. The Tonight Show is about gardening recipes. I know for a lot of people, myself included, I always end up with a glut of additional produce, and sometimes you start running out of things to do with your. Oh, hi, Dawn Heritage Connor. I see you there. And sometimes you run out of ideas for you just run out of ideas for things to cook. So tonight's episode, I'm asking people to call in and tell me what are their favorite recipes for things that they grow in their garden. So that's the topic tonight. And like I said, if you're on Facebook, you can certainly write in the comment section. So Dawn, I can see you. If you would like to tell me a recipe that you make with vegetables you grow in your garden, and Lorraine T, who's on YouTube, if you would like to tell me something you like to grow, you like to grow, excuse me, you like to cook from things on your garden. And I'm going to try to be monitoring all chats across Facebook, YouTube, and Podbean. So if I seem a little distracted, that's why. So, Dawn, I think you just have to hit the chat button. I mean, type a comment if you would like to. If you would like to tell me a recipe. So I guess I'll go first since everybody's kind of shy. Couple things I like to make with produce I grow in my garden. For what is it called? Broccoli. I like to make a copycat Panera recipe for the broccoli cheddar soup because that's one of my favorite soups. And I got the recipe um, All Recipes and copycat Panera, and I'll tell you what's in it. It comes out really good, especially because you're using fresh broccoli. So you need, let's see, butter, onion, flour, milk, chicken stock, and broccoli florets. I think I left out the carrots the last time, and I'm not really a fan of celery, but it was absolutely amazing. I like broccoli cheddar soup, but making it from scratch is just so much better. The other Some other things that I like to make, let's see. If you have like winter squash, so I'm trying to think, what did I use? I used a Cinderella pumpkin last year, or maybe it was one of my Ghirardelli pumpkins, and I actually roasted it. And actually I did a video on that on YouTube and I posted that. I roasted it. I basically used a sharp knife to cut it into like sections, maybe like 5 or 6 sections. I roasted it on 450 for like an hour or so, and then once you do that, the flesh comes out of the skin pretty easily. You just put it in a freezer bag and you leave it. Some of the things I like to do with it, I like to use it to make a pasta sauce. So I will take the pumpkin and mix it with like heavy cream, some garlic, some white wine, and I'll make a pasta sauce. A lot of times I'll make like chicken, like Like I'll bake some chicken breast and slice it and put it over it, and add some peas and like some bacon or something. And so that's pretty good. And then let's see. Another thing I like to do with it is I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. Um, Oh, I know, pumpkin chili. So instead of using a tomato sauce, I will use pumpkin puree. It actually like once you put all the chili seasonings in it, you really can't tell the difference that much. I mean, you could tell by color because it's not as red as a regular chili. But in terms of flavor, you don't really notice it that much. The nice thing is that the pumpkins are actually a lot more nutritious than the tomato sauce. And let me think. I'm trying to think. What are some other things I do with produce in my garden? I mean, I do have blueberry recipes. I haven't done anything with blueberries yet because unfortunately I keep forgetting to net my blueberries. And so the birds usually get my blueberries before I get them. So that's always very unfortunate. So those are a couple of things. Does anybody have any tomato recipes? Because that seems to be one that people really people really struggle with because they just end up with so many. So let's see. Dawn, do you have a tomato recipe? And what about you, Lorraine? Do you have a tomato recipe? Is this not working today? Dawn and Lorraine, can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Hang on, let me try to see. I think I've lost everybody. Wasn't really sure how many people were going to be participating tonight because this is the lead up into Thanksgiving, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably getting ready for their holiday, and that is a okay. Um, okay, hang on. Oh, Lorraine, okay. Okay, so Lorraine says, I tried to make a copycat dish I had at Wegmans eggplant, butternut squash, onion, and yellow squash. Okay. Oh, tomato stew. So, Lorraine, what do you put in your tomato stew? I'd have to wait for her to type the response, though. Okay, so Lorraine says she puts chicken, tomatoes, okra, corn, and onions. Now, Lorraine, do you grow your own okra, or is that something you get from the store? Okay, let me see if there's response. Oh, so Lorraine, you have grown okra. Lorraine, I've have a hard time with okra. I think it's just the consistency. What do you do so that to make it so that it's not slimy? Because that's what I've seen the flowers of the okra plant, and you're right, it is a beautiful flower looking plant. It's just I don't know, the sliminess of the okra just yeah, my mom is from North Carolina and she's southern, so she loves okra. And it was just one of those things she can really never get my sister and I to to try. So now Lorraine, I see you say that you grew corn too, but it did not taste sweet to me. Huh. By the way, when you grow corn, um, I don't know about you, but my plants always end up rather stunted. Do you have that issue with your corn? Guys, I'm pretty sure I put there's like I put a time lag on YouTube, so it is not showing me comments and that sort of thing in real time. So oh, so Lorraine, your mom is from South Carolina. Actually, you know what, Lorraine, my mom moved to South Carolina. Actually, it was in 2020. She lives in somewhere called Conway. Is that near your mom? Okay, so no. Oh, you grew corn last year. Okay. Yeah, corn, I don't know. I'm gonna try corn again this coming year, but I gotta figure out what I'm doing wrong because for some strange reason, my corn just doesn't get the ears on it are very small. Okay, so you got your no stunt in the growth. You got your seeds from Walmart. Uh, I'm just wondering, maybe I don't, maybe I haven't been fertilizing it enough because I know that they're heavy nitrogen feeders, or maybe it's, I grew it in a raised bed, so I don't know. Maybe it really just needs to be in ground because maybe it needs to be because the root is needs to be deeper. I don't know. That's the one. That's consistently the one plant that just does not do well for me. So when you, Um, your mom hasn't heard about Conway. It's about I'm trying to think. It's on the side of South Carolina with Myrtle Beach. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think. I think Myrtle Beach is like 30 minutes away from Conway. So that's where my mom is, and they seem to really like it. Now, Lorraine, where do you live? Are you a New Jersey person or no? And Dawn, can you hear me? Because I haven't seen anything from you. If you're typing, I can't. It's not showing up. Okay, and I think I see a response from Lorraine. Let's see. Okay, so you grew Lorraine says, I grew it in a container and in the ground I use compost. Huh. Oh, well, what did I use in mine? Last year when I tried it, I did it in a raised bed that was a foot high. And it was a mixture because of um it was a mixture of topsoil. I think it was like 1 part topsoil to 2 parts compost. Oh, so okay, so Lorraine, where in New Jersey do you live? Are you in Burlington County like me? You're in Lyme. Hmm. I've never Now I'm curious because I've never heard of Lyme. Hang on a second. Where's Lyme, New Jersey? So Lorraine, where's Lyme? Because I've never heard of that one before. Yes, we're in the same city. Oh, in the same county. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're both in Burlington. Now, wait, are you a Medford person or I'm not, or are you in Marlton or like Southampton or somewhere like that? Oh, lime isn't added to my dirt. Okay. Because I just Googled Lyme, New Jersey. I was like, I don't see that one. Oh, okay. Add lime to the dirt. Huh. So by adding lime to are you saying that my soil's maybe the soil's too acidic for the corn? Is that why you would add lime? Okay, so Lorraine says she's not far from Mount Laurel. Okay, so you're definitely right. You're right around the corner from me there. That's cool. Because I think for me, Mount Laurel, I'm trying to think. Maybe Mount Laurel's like a 10-minute drive away from me. So, oh, so Lorraine, do you go to the Philadelphia Flower Show? Okay, so you add lime every year. Okay, well, you know what? I will definitely try adding lime to where the corn is and see if that makes a difference. To be quite honest, I never really looked at what pH corn needs, but I'll try it. Um, Actually, I could probably add some. Oh, that was your first time growing corn. Okay. Yeah, I've tried it a couple times, and each time I grew it, the ears were always ended up being like maybe 2 or 3 inches long. They never got full size. So I'm sure it's my soil. Oh, so okay. So you were at the flower show a few years ago. They're doing it outside now, right? Yeah, so for any of you guys who have heard of the flower show, maybe never have been, because of COVID this year, the flower show decided to do it outdoors at FDR Park in Philly. And so I went with Forever Blooms with Jennifer, and we went on, I think, June 5th, and it was, I think it was like 95 degrees that day. And so um, it was we stayed for we stayed as long as we could. Yes, Lorraine, I did go last year. That's what I was talking about. I think there's a time delay, but yes. So when they did it outside FDR Park, I did go. I went with the Forever Blooms. with Jennifer, and it was like 95 degrees on the day that we went. I really I know there was a lot of criticism. I personally really enjoyed it. First off, it was much bigger, obviously, because it was, I think FDR Park is like 15 acres. So it was spread over a really large area, which is nice. There was a lot more vendors, a lot more exhibits. It was also a lot more people. I yeah, it was I mean I go have been going every year, to the one that was indoors. And this one, man, I tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen the amount of people that were at the flower show this year. So yes, yeah, I'm glad, but Lorraine, in all honesty, with it being 95 degrees, if it had rained, it would have felt good. But I know next year they're definitely doing outside again, which I know a lot of people have complained about. I'm not, but they said they did take a lot of feedback, and so from what I understand, they're going to be doing a lot of misting stations around the place. I think they're also going to have like for water, I think they're gonna have like free places where you can go and fill up your water bottles to make sure you stay cool. I think they may kind of redesign the walkways because there were some parts that were definitely in shade, and then there was other parts where it was like baking sun. And so I think they're gonna maybe change it around a little bit so that a lot more of the walking is in the shade because it did get to the point where Jen and I wanted to go to places and we were kind of taking the long way just because we wanted to walk, to walk under the trees because it was really hot. The one thing that was a slight disadvantage was that you really couldn't take any wheelie bags in. And that was a disadvantage because typically when I would go to the flower show in the convention center, I would usually take you know how they make those wheeled bags like for grocery shopping. Like I would take one of those with me. And so when I would buy stuff, I would put it in the bag so that way I didn't have to carry everything. And so but because of the COVID restrictions, if you took a bag in there, like it could only have certain dimensions. So it definitely cut down on the amount of shopping that we could do. And on top of that, we kind of waited closer till the end because they were not allowing you to leave the park and then come back. So once you left, like you had to be done. Or else I just would have made multiple trips back to my car and just, put what we bought in the car. So I know they're going to be changing some things for next year, but I would anticipate that that's probably not going to change. But the one thing that was nice, and for those of you guys, I know I've been talking this year about joining horticultural societies, but the Philadelphia Flower Show is put on by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. Definitely join. The great thing about last year's flower show is that about a week after the show, when I guess they took down all the exhibits, they had leftover plants, and so for those of us who were members, they actually gave away plants. So I have since learned that with the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, when they have plant giveaways, um, definitely schedule to go pick up later in the day because usually by that point they realize they have too many and then they just tell you to take as much as you want. So I'm also part of the Hardy Plant Society, and of course most of the members are members of PHS. And this one man was like, "Oh yeah, we went later in the day and uh I think they actually ended up taking a truck to load up. They were, I guess, doing a community garden. And so they were actually able to take, uh, I guess, the rest of the plants and use in their community garden. So that's something to keep in mind. So, Lorraine, I noticed that you said, oh no, but I'm not really sure what you're saying, oh no, to. So, what was the oh no about? Okay, and I'm getting a thumbs up. I think this in 2022, I think the theme of the show this year is like in bloom or something like that. So it should be really nice. I'm looking forward to it. So hey Lorraine, are you part of any horticultural societies? Oh, because no carts. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was I'm gonna have to borrow somebody's child so I can take their stroller. Like, you know how people put their kids in a wagon? Like, take the kid in the wagon and make the kid walk so I can use the wagon to haul things. Yeah. I'm hoping they change that for next year, but I don't know. I think next year they're also supposed to be making some changes in terms of, I think, the timestamps. Yes, and yes, that's right. We couldn't come back after we went to a car. Yeah, so they're making a lot of changes for next year. So I think they're trying to improve the experience. I wasn't really sure. Um, okay, so probably you're saying no, no, you're not a member. Okay, um, yeah, I think from what I heard from one of the people who works for PHS Meadowbrook Farm. I think she told me something like when we were there, I think she told me that as of like that Saturday, which was like the first day, I want to say that she said that it had sold like 77,000 tickets. And I wasn't sure if that was throughout the entire show or if it was just for that day. Whatever it was, I mean, 77,000 is definitely a lot. So I think I think they got a lot more. I think they got a lot more people, which kind of stands to reason. I mean, because you can fit a lot more people in over 15 acres than you can in the Philadelphia Convention Center. Oh, so Lorraine, if you have not joined a horticultural society, you might want to join PHS. The other one you might want to join is the Hardy Plant Society. The Hardy Plant Society has, I think, they have a lot more events. And they have like a lot of pop-up things. And some of the pop-up things you do have to pay, but it's like $5. But the nice thing is that some of the members who are allow pop-up events. Like for example, this one lady had like I forgot how many hundreds of varieties of daylilies, and she actually let when people came to tour, she actually let people dig up some daylilies to take home. So there's things like that. They have like a gardener's market at PHS Middlebrook Farm. They have all these vendors. So I went and let's see, what did I get? Because I think I got like cranberry double scoop echinacea, and then I think I also got like pretty parasol. So I got a lot of unusual plants. So that was nice. Then let's see. I think they support like Tyler Arboretum. So I know they had a members tour. Unfortunately, some of the stuff that they do is during the day, during the work day. So I can't always go, but they have a lot of they do have a lot of events on the weekends. The one I'm looking forward to is they have a members tour in June. And that was really fun. We went to like six different places in the Philly Roxborough area. And yeah, it was really nice to get to see people's gardens. And it was nice to see, what things, because certain things I've planted, but I don't know how it's going to look because it's not mature yet. So that was fun. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, it's just really nice. They have and you know what? They're doing a giant seed exchange, and I think it starts in January. And I kid you not, they sent out the list. It's like 60 some pages of seeds. And some of the seeds, people have very unusual cultivars, and so I'm already making my wish list of things that I definitely want to get. I have to next year. Hopefully, my garden will be a lot more established, and I will be able to contribute some seeds because they have a lot. Hi, Chris. How are you? I haven't seen you commenting in a while. Chris, I'm doing a live podcast, which I'm also simulcasting um, on YouTube as well as Facebook Live. Tonight's topic is recipes for produce that you have grown in your garden. Right now, I'm just chatting with Lorraine, who's actually on YouTube. And I think I do have a link on the Facebook Live if you want to call into Podbean. You can actually call in and actually talk on air. Right now, nobody's calling in, so I'm just talking to whoever's on Facebook and YouTube. So let's see. Oh, Lorraine, do you grow any? Actually, you know what? I take that back. Have you been to Longwood in at Christmas time? Because I am actually going to Longwood on December 3rd with some coworkers. I'm looking forward to that. Hang on. You type a message to Chris. I'm actually really excited about going to Longwood. They said that they have 500,000 lights. So that's I can't wait to see that. They do have fire pits apparently strategically placed so that you can warm yourself up during the as you're walking around the park. No, okay, you're not. Well, you should probably go. It's yeah, I think I'm sure you've probably seen the video that I posted on YouTube. I finally went to Longwood for my birthday in October, and I'm really annoyed with myself that I waited so long to go. But yes, I'm definitely going back for Christmas, and I don't know. I think it's probably going to become a yearly tradition. Yeah, I know. I mean, 500,000 lights, that I mean, it does I think it's going to be absolutely I think it's gonna be absolutely stunning, and so I'm going with, my 2 secretaries, one of the other attorneys from my office, is bringing her daughter and another attorney that we work with, and there's a couple more people that I'm gonna actually I probably should message. Oh, actually, you know what? There's a third secretary from my office that's coming, so I don't know, it should be maybe like my 5 or 6. Yeah, you know what? It is a good ride, but you know what, Lorraine? We're actually going at 8 p.m. because during Christmas, the park is open till 11 p.m. So we were hoping that by pushing it back a little bit later, that hopefully we'll miss some of the crowds. If you want to go to Longwood, I would recommend that you go. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Um, if you're gonna go to Longwood, I would because you right now you have to do a timed entrance. Go around like 11:30 because from where I live in Medford to there, it only ended up being like an hour and maybe 5 minutes. It was surprisingly quick, but I missed all the traffic. So um I'm hoping that we miss traffic by going by at 8 p.m. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that they have the park open until 11 p.m. probably means that it's pretty crowded. I did talk to the security guard when I was there for my birthday, and he said that the year before COVID, they had one day they had 28,000 people come through. And he said, and the next day they broke the record. And I meant to ask him which day was that because I was trying to figure out if that was like a Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday. It's probably going to be like a Saturday and Sunday type thing, I would imagine. But but somebody asked him a question, so I didn't get an answer. So I'm really excited. And also with Longwood, actually, I think today was actually the first day that they opened the Christmas exhibit, and I think they said that it goes till like January 9th or something like that. So you have a really good long time to go see it. So, um, the tickets are a teeny bit, pricey, but they're $30 a piece, but they let you they let you put you get a ticket, they let you use what you paid on that ticket to go towards a yearly membership if you want. So yes, Longwood Christmas goes through January 9th, 2022. And apparently it's already selling out. So I'm looking at tonight. Well, obviously tonight's gonna be sold because they only have 9 and 9:30 available. And then tomorrow they do have like 10, 10:30, 11 through 1:30, and then looks like 8 p.m. and later is free. Um, so yeah, so if you guys want to get a I don't know, maybe I'll go twice. I mean, because I'm not really doing anything for Thanksgiving, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go. Actually, you know what? Let's see if they have anything on Thanksgiving. Actually, they do have availability on Thanksgiving. Huh. So, what do you think, Lorraine? You think I should go see the Christmas exhibit twice? Actually, I wonder what the temperature. Let's see what the temperature is going to be on Thursday. Hang on, because that might tell me. Let's see. So next Thursday is supposed to be 55. So actually, it might be pretty nice to go there. So it'll be nice to walk around. Let's see. Nobody's on Podbean. So I'm funny. Why am I funny? Because because I'm going to go twice. Yeah, I guess that's probably a little funny. Yeah, you should like back in the day with the flower show and they being indoors at the convention center. I used to I would get a double membership, and the reason I would get a double membership is because with the flower show, I like to go the first day because everything was fresh and beautiful. But then I would like to go the last day because on the last day, all the vendors actually mark their stuff down because they don't want to take they don't want to take anything home. And so, yeah, once I realized that I would go the first day and then I would go to the last day and I would save like a lot of like if I was going to get like lilies or that sort of thing, I would wait until the last day because there's this one vendor and I want to say like by the last day it was like 40 like I want to say it was like 40 lilies for like $20 or something like that. And so you're getting a really great deal. So yeah, so actually, according with Longwood, I probably can call them now and use the money I spent on my birthday thing and actually get them to put that towards my yearly membership. At first I was thinking because I think it's like $90, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But then I realized that Longwood is actually open all year round. So I guess even if it's too cold outside, you can go into the conservatory, which is the glass house, and that's always fun. Actually, since we're on the topic of Longwood, let me see if they tell you what their exhibits are for next year. Oh, you want one year in the spring? Okay. What was your favorite section of Longwood Garden? Because I didn't see the whole thing when I went for my birthday. I only got to see part of it. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to look up some things for upcoming events at Longwood. So let's see. Um, they have Winter Wonder, and that's from January 22nd to March. And so it's going to be a warm oasis of colorful plantings in the conservatory. Ooh, that actually looks really interesting. And then they actually are starting, they'll return performances to the conservatory. Um, Ooh, okay, hang on. Let's see. They have some. Okay, so then Valentine's Day. Oh, the tulips at the conservatory was gorgeous. Okay. Oh, so Lorraine, speaking of tulips, tomorrow I'm going to start planting 1,000 tulip bulbs. So have you started planting tulips yet? Okay, so on Valentine's Day, they are going to have a violinist in the conservatory. So that's something you might want to see. And then April 2nd, start through May 1st is the spring blooms. Oh, so you went on a bus trip. Nice. Hey, so Lorraine, I'm thinking, suppose I create, you know what, maybe like I should create a Facebook event, like where people can like go to Longwood, like in the spring. What do you think about that idea? Okay, so I'm looking at online with Longwood, like their spring display with the tulip bulbs, and that's ooh, and they have a wisteria garden. Okay, so you need to buy some. Lorraine says, "Oh my God, need to buy some color blends." I did get some from Color Blends. I also, and I think they're sold out now, but I got some from, let's see. I got some from Color Blends. I got the white cube mix from Color Blends. Speaking of which, I just remembered I didn't post that video yet. I probably should do that tomorrow. And then I got a lot of varieties from Van England. And so my theme is pink and white. And so the pink and white are actually going in the promenade beds. That's what I refer to the beds lining my driveway. And so yeah, I'm going to start planting 1,000 pink and white ones. And what I did was I actually poured all the tulips in a box and I started mixing them together. So I want it to be very random. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm hoping that between tomorrow and just, because next week is Thanksgiving. So it'll be lighter at work. So I can actually, get out of work on time. I'm hoping to get them done so that by next Saturday, hopefully I'll be finished. Yeah, I think a Longwood trip would be cool because I mean, I think it'll be really fun to go with a bunch of gardening, like a bunch of gardening geeks. So so I will look and see what else I'm trying to think. Let me look and see what the other. And they got the festival of the fountains. Yeah, probably I think a spring bloom would be nice. So maybe I'll do it. Let's see. Maybe well, not May, maybe end of April. I'll look at I'll look at the Farmer's Almanac just to kind of see when it would be a good time because I don't want it to be too hot, but then I don't want it to be too cool because then you can't. I mean, granted, if it's cooler, it's probably a little bit. It'd probably be a lot easier than when it's too warm. But yeah, maybe Lumbersnake. Oh, would probably be easier for everybody. So yeah, I think spring will be good because I'm looking at the tulips, their foxglove, and all that other stuff that's blooming. I think that's gonna be great. And then it looks like they got the dogwoods blooming, and then they got the meadow garden. And although I would never grow wisteria, I would like to see somebody else's wisteria who can actually, maintain it. So anyway, so this has been fun. It's kind of nice sometimes when it's just fewer people because you get to talk to people a little bit more one-on-one. I don't know that I'm going to do a live garden party for December because I think everybody's probably going to be busy doing the Christmas. So I think I'm going to I think the next one will be sometime in January. I don't have a date yet, but I'll announce that soon. And I probably, you know what I think I'll do? I think I will do a Q&A on winter sewing. I think I'll do a Q&A on winter sewing because if you guys have been following me on YouTube and that sort of thing, you guys know that I do a solo cup terrarium to start my winter sewing seeds. And I did some experimenting last year. I used, I'm trying to think how many different soils did I use? I used, let's see, I think it was like a Spoma, Twin Oaks, um, Bumper Crop, Happy Frog, Pro Mix. I think, and I feel like there's a couple I'm missing. So I think I did like a head to head on the maybe 6 or so different potting soils when I did the winter sowing. So we could talk a little bit more about um which one I got the best results. I did try some things in terms of like how, because I think some cups I actually kind of buried partially in the ground as opposed to some that I didn't, and which ones I got best results with. So I know there's been a lot of interest in winter sowing, especially once people saw how many flowers I had. And the other thing we could talk about is because I'm not one of those people. I didn't thin any of my plants. When they were growing, I actually separated them out. So, yeah. So I think January will definitely be a winter sowing, because you can do winter sowing through March, but there are certain plants that are better to winter sow in early January. As opposed to there's some that you can still winter sow in March, but they just do better later in the year. So I think that will be very relevant because most people will be starting their winter sowing in January. So anyway, guys, for those of you who did not catch it, Lorraine says that she makes tomato stew with produce she grows in her garden, and she makes it with chicken, tomatoes, okra, corn, and onions. And let's see, I know, let's see. And I gave a recipe for broccoli cheddar. It's a copycat recipe from All Recipes. And I talked about what I did with my winter squash, and I like to use it in substitute for tomatoes. So thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, the next podcast will be probably, I would say, mid to maybe late January, and it will be a Q&A on winter sewing. So basically any questions you have about winter sewing, get those ready and get them prepared for me. I have been because I have been experimenting with various types of winter sewing. There's not necessarily a right way. It just depends upon what you're doing. And I'm one of those types of people. I was very scientific about it. I kept detailed notes, which is why I'm doing podcasts, doing my year 2 of plant trials, and we can go over there. So, yeah. So Lorraine, if you want to try winter sewing too, yes. And I did, yes, I did solo cups, which I got from, what's the name of the place? Party City. And I ordered the milkshake lids from web restaurant. And also I'll tell you about other thing I don't think I have discussed this far, but I'll talk to you guys about the wear and tear on the stuff, like how often you should be able to reuse it. Because I was surprised because I didn't know how those things were going to hold up, after being outside. But I will have a report on that too. And for those of you guys who are on YouTube and Facebook, remember to tune in to Podbean or iTunes because you can get my podcast on either one of them. I'm going to be doing another review of plants. If you guys were not aware, I've been doing a review of literally every single plant that I grew in my garden this year. So last episode, we're on all the poppies. This coming episode is going to be about the echinacea, the coneflowers that I grew. And I want to say when I was counting it up, like I think I have like 13 or so different varieties. So I'll be giving you guys the review because this is the first year I've put them in. So I'll be giving you guys a review on that. So guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you, or you guys will hear me on Sunday with the new podcast. So good night.